Hey, welcome to a Psalm for Today, your reassuring voice that Jesus is Lord. My hypothesis is that the essence of Christianity is giving. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. In essence, is the substantive component of Christianity. However, if we're not careful, we think God so loved the world that he gave something that he had. God did not primarily give something that he had, i.e. a son. God gave something that he is, something that he was. For Jesus himself said, I and the Father are one. This wonderful Christmas celebration season is the celebration of God's giving of himself. For example, when I was young, we sang he could have called 10,000 angels to destroy the world and set him free. There were angelic gifts God could have given. There were things outside of himself he could have given, but he chose to give himself. And as we contemplate our call in the world, yes, what we have and do is needed in the world. It's important for us to give. It's important for us to buy food for children. It's important for us to help educate. It's important for us to send the good news to the nations. These are important things. However, I believe a higher level of giving is when we give of ourselves. For Kent so loved the world that he gave of himself. Or put your name in there. And it's so important for us to consider the deeper life. My grandfather left a book by his bedside that I was able to get called The Deeper Life Experiences of Famous Christians. And the deeper life includes a deeper giving. It includes the giving of who we are. It includes the giving of our hopes. It includes the giving of our fears. It includes the giving of our ambitions. It includes the giving of our truthful feelings. It includes the giving of our weaknesses, the giving of our strengths. It includes the giving of our hopes. It includes the giving of our anti-hopes, the things that we're actually not hoping for. And as you consider the upcoming year and giving, I encourage you to consider, how can I give of myself? To your spouse, how can you give more of yourself to your spouse? To your children, how can you give more of yourself to your children? To your church, how can I give more of myself to my church? How can I give more of myself to my community, my state, my nation, God's world? People are often so afraid to get on a plane and go somewhere and give of themselves. But our command is go. A few weeks back, I was pretty surprised when a fairly long-term Christian, 25 years or more, said, now why are you going all these places? I said, because Jesus said, go ye into all the world and preach the gospel. She said, everybody's not supposed to do that, are they? And I could tell that in her discipleship, these many years she's followed Jesus, the command to go has never been proclaimed. The command to go has never been articulated for her. Here's the verse of the Psalm 37. The steps of a man are ordered by the Lord. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord when he delights in his way. When you delight in God's way, your steps are ordered. If you fall, you shall not be cast headlong, for the Lord upholds his hand. We've heard this verse many times. I have been young, and now I am old. Yet I have not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his children begging bread. I have not seen the righteous forsaken, nor their seed begging bread. Verse 26 is what I want you to think about in relationship to our conversation today. The righteous person that this passage is speaking about is ever giving generously. There's an ever-present generosity, lending, giving for the psalmist in Psalm 37:26. He is ever generously lending or giving. Guess what? That's connected to your children, surprisingly. And his children become a blessing. The more generous you are, the more your children will be a blessing. Fascinating, the dots that God connects in his word. Now, he is generous every once in a while. This person is generous when it's moving. This person is generous when the emotion hits them. The text says this person is ever generous. And I say these comments today, I think, in honor of my mom. My mom had the gift of giving. She would give and give and give. Years and years ago, she worked at Sears. She sold jewelry at Sears. We said, Mom, you've got to quit working and enjoy your older age. She said, I can afford to enjoy my older age, but I wouldn't have any money to support my missionaries. I'm working to support for my funds that I give to missionaries. What a beautiful thing. So, brothers and sisters, the giving that we're after is not a secondary giving, the giving of something external. That's wonderful. I have 2 bikes. You can have one. I don't need these shoes anymore. I hope they're a blessing to you. All those things are okay and helpful. I have $58 that I can budget in. Fantastic. And at the same time, to say, in what way can I give of myself? How can I self-give like God does in John 3:16? For God so loved the world that he self-gave. He gave who he is, and he gave his being. Now, that second person of the Trinity is Jesus. In a sense, they're separate entities, but in a sense, they are the same entity, because the Trinity is hard to conceive, hard to imagine, but the word of the Lord is, I and my Father are one. So there was the self-giving God, and be a self-giving person this Christmas. Maybe somebody in your world would much rather have something of you than a gift from you. Maybe somebody would much rather have you as the gift than the purchase of a gift. As you look at the upcoming year, I ask you to consider, in what way this year can I be like the self-giving God and give